In this class, we'll just get our code from here, before and test. Exactly as we did the login test. Okay, we have a before class, and we'll import all these things. Before importing, I'll extend this class. So extends test base class. Okay, and Control Shift O, so that it will import JUnit. Okay, right. So if you run this test, it should start filling up these text. So how to run this? Right click, run as JUnit test.
This one we are not using test util, no? Utility test.
Not using.
Yeah.
You can use it, like you can write the whole thing in test util and call it here, like the
Yeah.
login screen. But this one we just wrote as it is, just like that.
Okay.
Your email address does not match. Test 3118, sorry. So to make the registration successful, my email addresses should be same, isn't it? Test 3118. Okay, right. Run as JUnit test. So if you make a function with following parameters, first name, last name, and all these things,
Yeah, we need to pass parameters.
and you can use from test util. See, it's registered. Okay, so it is working. Fantastic. Now what can we do with it? Right, we have two test classes, one is login class and one is registration class. So how do we deal with test suites in JUnit? In TestNG, you know very well. How do you deal with test suite in TestNG? How do you make it?
Before test and after test, we can use the functions.
Test suite.
First before suit and after suit.
No. What is a test suite actually? Tell me what is a test suite.
Suit is a combination of it's about a complete whole thing. That's like test class. I mean before test.
No, you are confused totally. What is a test suite? Go
Which
back to
test?
IDE and tell me.
We write the program or the function in it. Main program, set of test programs.
What is a test suite? Give me the definition. What does test suite contain?
Set of programs, like set
What
of
programs?
test.
Everything is a program.
It contains a set of pattern. It is like before and after, before and after, before and after.
No.
No,
Why do you need before and after?
that is like when you run the test.
Test suite is collection of test cases. Do we have any before and afters in Selenium IDE when you learnt about test suite? In Selenium IDE, what is a test suite?
It's in Selenium IDE. It's about all the test cases.
Test cases, collection of test cases, isn't it? If you open Selenium IDE, if you have more than, now only one untitled is there, new test case, one more new test case. Collection of these three test cases is called a test suite, isn't it?
Yes.
The same thing applies everywhere. In RC, in TestNG, how did you see a test suite? You had testng.xml. Did you forget? See,
Yeah,
here we have testng folder. So if you go to testng folder, and if you go to testng.xml, you have collection of test cases, BBC test, annotations test, read-if test, and all those tests. So what are these? These are all test cases. These are all different test cases. Collection of these test cases is called a test suite. Any doubt here? Sandeep, confused somewhere?
No. I was getting confused with the other one about the suit and the.
The other one, those are called annotations.
Yeah.
Yeah, annotations we are using here as well, isn't it? In this project, In login test, we used two annotations, before and test.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the same thing. You can, if there is a need, you can use after also.
Yeah, that is what. Yeah.
Yeah.
After the test. Yeah.
If you want to close something, you can use after as well. So these are annotations. Annotations are part of TestNG. Test suite is general concept. You can implement test suite using TestNG or JUnit. Okay. Now we'll use test suite and try to run these both the tests together. Why do we use test suites? If you want to run group of tests together, if you have a regression set, we'll make a regression test suite and run the test suite, so that all the tests we want to run for regression will run. Not every test you automated you will use for regression. You will only choose business value from that. You will only choose the critical tests and make it ready for the regression. Out of 100 tests, you may only take 30 tests or 40 tests which are very important. Okay, and you'll make a suite of it. So suite is nothing but you can make different suites. Like you can make sprint 1 suite, sprint 2 suite, and sprint 3 suite. If you only want to run sprint 1 suite, you can run sprint 1 suites. All the tests related to sprint 1 will run. Sprint 2 suite, sprint 3 suite. No, now you think in a different way. You only want to run features called reviews suite right now. Only reviews will run now. You only want to run suite of mail now. So only tests related to mail will run now. So you can make your own test suites like that. Okay, we'll make one more test suite now. How to make test suite here? So it is bit different than TestNG. In TestNG we had we had testng.xml. Now we don't have XML. We have something else. We have a normal class over here. So we'll call that class as test suite, or we'll call that class as suite1, new class. Okay, I'll call it suite1. Okay, normal class again. I don't want any main method right now. So here, to know that you're running suite class, you have another annotation here in JUnit called as run with. Run with, and you will give something called as suite.class. By this parameter, it will know that this is a test suite. Okay. Okay, this is not here, this is here. Okay, here you'll write @ suite classes, and open bracket now give all the suite classes, whatever suite classes. What are the tests we have? Login test and registration test, isn't it? So login test dot class, what is the next one? Give a comma and give registration test dot class. Okay, now it knows what to run. That's all. That's the suite. So Control Shift F, neatly it will format it. Now you only have 2 classes, but if you have more than 2 classes, you can give all the classes. Okay, you won't give test base class because test base class does not contain any program logic. It's only the controlling class, isn't it? So login test has login feature, registration test has registration feature. So now if I run, instead of running login test separately and registration test separately, now if I run as JUnit test, the suite class, it will run both these tests. So first it starts login test. Okay, fantastic. Now registration test. That's it. Very simple concept. Suite contains test cases. So we call these tests as test cases for now. Okay. So these test cases, you can just add these tests. You can just add them as many as you want in this. This is the format. Very simple. You only need to remember two things: run with and suite classes. That's all. You won't give anything in class. Outside the class, you'll write this. This is the structure of JUnit test suite. So now you know TestNG test suite and JUnit test suite. Any doubts in this?
Okay.
No?
No.
Sandeep?
No doubts in this one.
Yeah. Okay. We had parameterization concept in TestNG. Do you remember anything about parameterization? What did we do with parameterization? Any idea? Varsha? What is parameterization?
We can pass the data through
Through?
function. We can pass the data.
Okay.
It's about the rows and columns. No?
Yeah, you will pass the data through an array from a function. Okay. So we have TestNG here. If I open parameterization, what did we do? We have something called as data provider. Data provider will send the data to it. Okay, we just give the data in an array over here and we'll send the object array. See, it is written in object array, isn't it?
Yeah, with array function.
With array function. So that object array will go here using this data provider. We'll get the data. Sorry, we have two data providers here. So okay, the object array will go here and it will substitute in these values over here automatically, because we gave this data provider is equal to new data over here. What is new data? New data is nothing but this one, the function name. The same we are going to do with JUnit, but it will be bit different. So to show that, what I will do is I will copy this registration test. I'll paste it again because I need a copy of it. I'll call it copy of registration test, or I'll call it registration test 1. So the old registration test, the difference is we directly get the data. Here we will modify it. So first we'll open the normal registration test, how it look like. So we are directly passing the data over here. Now what we'll do is we'll get it from parameterized thing. So what do we need to do first? So first we'll add run with parameterized dot class. So where to add that class? Before extending this class, it should know it uses parameterization. So I'll write, where did you see this run with? Did you see this run with anywhere? Just a moment.
Test suite.
Yes, the same run with we are using here. It know that it is test suite because we used suite.class. Here we are using parameterized.class. Parameterized.class. Then it knows that this test is using parameterization. Press Ctrl+Shift+O so that it will Ctrl+Shift+O. What's happening? Run with, it's taking TestNG parameterized JUnit. Yes, dot class. So you remove all these things. It will ask for this one. Now you select JUnit. Oops, Control Shift O. In our system, both are installed. That's the problem. Okay.
It's taking as normal Java.
No, it's taking as TestNG. So parameterized arg.junit I'm selecting. Okay. For you also, if you see arg.runners.parameterized.class, don't worry. Or else what you can do is just delete this stuff. Okay, now it should be okay because it already imported the TestNG one. It was showing us the problem. Now it will show both of them. I'll select. Still it's not showing the right one. Yeah. So if you face such problems, press Control and select the other one. Okay. org.junit.runner run with parameterized. Okay, now it's okay. Parameterized dot class. That's it. Okay, now it knows that we are running with parameterized.class. Okay, after that you should go into it and create some global variables. So how do we create global variables?
By static void. No.
So we'll create some global variables inside the class. So first one is, step one is you need to put the annotation. Annotation is step 1. Step 2, create some global variables. How to create global variables? Global variables. We'll create some global variables. What are the global variables we have? Public, static. You don't need static because we are using inside it only. Public, string. What variables we have? First name. So go here. What is this? First name, last name, telephone number, email, password, confirm password. All these things we need to create. So instead of creating, I'll just copy. Instead of writing, I'll just copy this. First name, last name, telephone number, confirm password. Okay, save some time. We created global variables. Now we'll create something called as constructor. Okay, now I need to tell you something about constructor. What is a constructor? Constructor is a function with exactly the same name as the class. It should be exactly the same name as the class. So it should be registration test 1. What does the constructor do? Constructor executes every time the class object is created. So whenever the class is running, constructor runs first. Okay, and these objects will, whenever an object is created using this class, constructor runs first. So whenever you run this class, automatically this constructor runs. So what happens? How does a constructor look like? We'll see. Normal function, public registration test 1. I'll copy the class name. Okay, and the parameters, all these parameters again. Okay, but here before each of them you need to keep string again. So I'll copy it again. Instead of typing it, I'll copy all the parameters again. Okay, and now write the function. What will be in the function? In this function we'll write this dot, what is that, first name is equal to first name. Okay, here what is happening, this first name is this first name. So when this program runs, this first name gets some data from where we'll see. Okay, that data will be passed on to this first name. This first name is nothing but the global variable first name which we created. So all the data from constructor will go into this, will be populated into these global variables. So we'll connect all the global variables to the parameters in this constructor. So next, this dot last name is equal to last name. I'll copy, I guess. So it's the same thing, we'll copy the code. Last name is done, telephone, confirm email, confirm password, all those things, all the fields. So when this program runs, this constructor will carry some values, and those values will be given to this one. What is this? Global variables. Whenever you write this means all the variables which are outside this constructor. Okay, when you select this is selected. Eclipse is very useful. When you select this first name, this is selected. Okay, so what is the next step? Next step is we will create the actual parameters array. So how to create parameters array? We'll go down here. What is this? Inside the test. Okay, we'll create a parameter array here. So public static will create a collection array here for JUnit, collection object array. So how to write that? OB object array. Collection array is nothing but it's kind of an array which will send it as a collection. So you'll see it, don't worry much about it. I'll call this function as get data function. Same we did in, so collection, we need to import the collection java.collection, java.util. So you did strings and sets and hashtags. In the same way, there is something called as collections as well. Okay, it's nothing but an array. It will send as an array. Okay, so how to create an array? I'll create an object array. How to create a string array? You'll write something like string, all this, and in the same way object array, I'll write object. Object means it can be anything. It can be integer, it can be string, or it can be anything. Okay, object. What is this? Registration data is equal to new object, and we should give the size, right? Rows and columns. What does rows denote? Rows is number of data sets. I will have 2 data sets. That means test will run 2 times with 2 different kinds of data. Columns is number of fields or parameters. So we have 6 fields here. What are those? First name, last name, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we'll give 6 over here. Okay, right, now it's showing some error here, get data. Okay, we are not returning anything, that's why it's showing error. We'll return it. Okay, how to give data to it? First row. How to give data? Reg data 0 0. What is 0 0? What is the first field we thought? First name, isn't it? So first name is, I'll write some Hugh. Next, reg data 0 1. You know this style, right? How to give the data and all. Is Jackman. Right, I'll copy the rest of the data. So I'll copy first row and second row as well. Okay, now we have data. So we need to return the data, isn't it? It's showing some error for us. We need to add return statement. So what we'll return? We'll return the object array. So how to return it? Return statement. Usually we'll write as reg data, isn't it? regdata. Usually we'll write this, return reg data. But what type we are returning outside? Collection array. Collection array is nothing but it's a list. So we should here add something called as arrays dot as list. We'll send it as a list of values. So this parameterization needs list of values. So it will go as a list of values, but still it doesn't understand that this is the actual data source for it. So we need to give another annotation here. That annotation is called as parameters. @parameters. Did I say JUnit? Okay, JUnit parameters. Okay, now it understand this is parameters. So now we have two sets of data. Everything is done, but still one more step is left over. Can you please find out and spot out and tell me what is that step here? What step is missing? To run this, we need one more step, which is very easy for you to find out. Okay, let me tell you. We need to get rid of all these values and give our first name, last name, all our global variable parameters in this. Isn't it?
Yes.
Remove the hard-coded values. Instead of Kiran, just give first name. Where is this first name coming from? We defined here global variables. Okay. Where is this global variables getting data from? Constructor. Okay. How does constructor get all these values into this? Because we are running it as parameterized class and we have a parameters annotation over here. These will be directly loaded into these parameters over here. From these we are loading them into our global variables. Our global variables we are using here. First name, last name. This is telephone number, isn't it? Remember, computer doesn't know the order, so you should give it in. Computer doesn't understand what telephone is, so while entering the data you should make sure that you are giving it in right order. First name, last name, telephone number, email,
Password.
email, password. Email, I think I used confirm email. Here also confirm email. So I only took one parameter for email. If you want, you can take two parameters. Oops. Because anyway confirm email and email will give the same, but if you are testing in a different way, you can give 2 password and again password. So logically, if you run this test, now it should run 2 times. It should do the registration test 2 times because we have 2 sets of data, isn't it? That's why we need parameterization. The same test, we can change the data and it will run any number of times. So it should register 2 times. So how to run this? Right click it, run as registration test. Let me refresh it here. Let me refresh it. Okay, run as registration JUnit test. Kondal Reddy, is he online? No. So it's running for the first time. So Hugh Jackman data, it got registered second time. Kiran Manne, it got registered. Did you understand? That's it. Any doubts in parameterization? Today we covered, what all we covered? We covered suite, we covered parameterization. So do you want me to go through it once again?
Just quickly.
Yeah, quickly. I'll scroll through the beginning of it. I'll explain bit by bit. Then any doubts, then you ask me. Okay. Kondal Reddy, what happened? Still not well?
I'm okay, sir. I thought 9 p.m.
9 p.m. is other class.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. Anyway, I'm recording it. Don't worry.
oh, thank you.
Okay. That's the username and password if you still want to see.
Yeah.
It's anyway ending now. Okay. Right. So what did we do since beginning? I'm just collapsing the imports so that you won't confused. Step 1, we took our original registration test class in which we only have hard coded values. So this test will run only once. No chance of running it twice. We don't have duplicate data. So to enter duplicate data in a normal way, what will you do? You will again write this get object things and everything again and again, send the data to it, or you modify it and send the data to it. You can't experiment with different data here. That's why we have parameterization into force. So parameterization step 1, we just added @run with parameterized class on the top of the class, so that it knows that this class uses parameterization. This test uses parameterization. Sandeep, you just need to select your team your audio video and untick the computer sounds so that the resound won't come on top of your screen.
Yes, they did.
Okay. Step 2 is we created some global variables. Why did we create global variables? To use these global variables in the places of hard coded values, we use these global variables. Okay, first name, last name, telephone, confirm email. Okay, but we need some data to be passed on to these global variables. So how will we pass the data? We used constructor. Constructor will be of same name of the class and it runs every time. This is the first function which runs. So it collects the data automatically because we are using parameters class over here, parameters annotation over here, and we are returning the data as an array list that will go and populate into these parameters of constructor. From here we are just passing the values to our original global variables. These global variables we are using in our test. That's all. So we'll have a look at parameters class. In parameters class we have collection object. We are returning collection object. Okay, so that's why we write as list, arrays.as list, or else normally what we do, we'll just say return registration data, isn't it? So we just created an object array of 2 rows and 6 columns. 2 rows because we are running it 2 times. If you want to run it 3 times, add one more and add one more set of data. And 6 is number of parameters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First name, last name, telephone, email, password, confirm password. Any doubt? Any doubt anywhere from the beginning if you want me to explain?